Hey, time to shine today, Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson. And as we all say here at Time to Shine, we don't want anyone to feel like they have no one. And I have the opportunity to sit down with, she's kind of a homegirl from Michigan. She migrated, believe this or not, from Texas to
Whoop,
Michigan
whoop.
with her awesome husband, who has a church that he planted about 25 years ago in Hazel Park, Michigan. And I have so many great memories of Hazel Park and being up there in the D. But Sandy Harvey, who's my good friend here, she is fantastic. Wait till you hear the knowledge nuggets that she's going to drop on you. She's an impact speaker, which look at her. If you're watching on YouTube, she's fantastic. She's beautiful, bright, vibrant smile. She carries the audience. She's a skilled strategist and purposeful connector. She's the founder of Exodus Consulting Group, a transformational people and process firm, a pastoral executive. Yes, people, she's a pastor. Fantastic. I'm faith-based. People that know that about me, this is going to be an awesome, awesome conversation. Again, a pastoral, executive, and leadership coach. Sandy is a success visionary and passionate diversity and inclusion disciple, an impact speaker, like I said before. She seeks to be a positive influence. So, Sandy, welcome to Time to Shine today. Please come on and introduce yourself to the squad. But first, what emoji do you use the most when you're texting?
The smiley face with the tears running, just laughing.
Smiles with tears. What's your favorite color?
Purple,
Why is that?
royalty.
I was just gonna say royalty. That's awesome. Fired up. Cool. So let's start a little bit at your origins. So you're originally from Texas, correct?
Absolutely, from Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. Beautiful. And your husband planted a church in Michigan,
Yes.
so you kind of went with him. That's fantastic. So let's get to the origins, a little bit about your backstory and your origins into Exodus.
Sure. I started Exodus about 2.5 years ago. Originally, when I moved to Michigan from Texas, I could not find a job, believe it or not. I didn't have automotive, manufacturing, or union background. So everybody considered me to be unemployable. And I just thought there's something wrong with this picture. So originally, when I moved um, from Texas to Michigan, I did consulting for 4.5 years, where I worked with global companies doing leadership development and diversity training, and so for me, I've always had that in me to kind of do my own thing, but really wanting to see the impact, and that's really where I knew that I had to start my own business, because I wanted to be a positive impact on helping organizations transform.
Love it. And so your organizations that you like to work with, they're about 250 employees and under. Did I read that right? Or are you going larger than that? Or what's your sweet
Yes.
spot?
So generally, I work with a nonprofit that has one person, and I have a work with a client that's an auto dealership, and there are 1,400 people.
Wow.
So it just ranges. Most of what I look for is the connection. I don't take every engagement. I look for integrity. I look for people that are really passionate about their people. That's extremely important. You can't just focus on process, but you also have to focus on people as well. And I really want to work with organizations that do right by their people.
I love that. So there's, like, we use a term here in coaching, you probably heard this, the right horse for the course. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
they fit. And so let me ask you something then, like, what do you ask them
Mm-hmm.
to find maybe their blind spot,
Mm-hmm.
to find if they, you know, you're going to be able to work together. You feel the integrity, the passion, the connection. You find what is your process, or I'm going to ask for some secret sauce here, to find their blind spot to help them level up?
The interesting thing is, once I start talking and engaging with potential clients, I delve into sports.
Right. You'd argue
I,
buddies.
I grew up, I had really, really bad childhood asthma. And my pediatrician told my mother to put me in soccer. So I played soccer at the age of 4.
Wow.
The only African American in soccer in the 70s. for many years.
Really?
Email.
Right. Wow.
Yes. So I really, kind of use the sports analogies
Right.
and conversation to really kind of help to see where people are missing things.
Wow. So you ask powerful questions, probably,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And then you listen not only with your ears, but with your eyes, and you kind of read the whole person. And being in sports, I played,
Hmm.
maybe not the level, and I never played soccer. I just never thought about chasing a ball around and kicking it and stuff. But, being in sports, about failure.
Yes.
Tell us about one in
Yes.
the business world
In
where
the
you failed forward and overcame.
hmm um, I would say for me, um, just doing business as an entrepreneur, starting and having big dreams and not reaching goals, but then not stopping.
Okay.
And for that first year of this time of starting my business, I started in, early on when I moved to Michigan, but in 2017, starting my business, going through 2018, really having to analyze, is this the right thing to do? Am I qualified to do this? So I really started thinking about myself. I started coaching myself, about
Right.
my ability, my skill. And I kept with it. 2019 was a better year,
Sure.
and it gets better, each and every day. But I am an impatient person, and I know that.
It's
And I
the
have to
athlete in you. You want to excel all the time,
I have to deal
right?
with it. Yeah, I'm always on.
Right. So, did you feel like you had at a certain time an imposter syndrome? Kind of like where you are not
Hmm.
sure if you're qualified. I think I heard that, where you
Hmm.
feel like you're not qualified. Yeah, and we help actually people at Time to Shine. I actually have a coach myself where I'll get imposter syndrome, weekly, where I'm feeling, especially as you're growing. As you grow, you're going to feel that imposter syndrome. That's just what I tell the squad out there every day. But you took action.
Hmm.
We say here at Time to Shine today, inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the
Right.
yard, it's hard. So we break it down inch by inch. That's fantastic. So if I'm out at a networking event, which hopefully we all get out there and be able to do that again, and I'm out pressing some flesh and meeting some people, what is someone going to say that is going to make me think Exodus Consulting as a good contact, connection, referral, uh,
Hmm.
someone that I want to introduce to you? What are they going to say to me?
Sure. Generally, those that connect with me or are referred to me want some type of transformation. So either that's personally or that is professionally. They are at a point in their life where they know there's something more. I do a lot of presentations around purpose. And even for myself, growing up, especially as a young female, we're conditioned to take this job and move up the ladder and continue to move up the ladder and continue to move up the ladder. And then that is what is deemed as success.
Right.
But success may not look like that for everyone. And those individuals that are at networking events are generally saying, you know what, I know that there's something more. I know my organization can do more. I know we can be more efficient. I know we can be more impactful. I know we can grow. I'm just not sure how to do
Gotcha. And that'd be a great intro for
that.
you. Then
Hmm.
you can kind of take them through your process of getting them to a situation where they can level up. That's fantastic. Thank you for answering like that. That's a beautiful answer. So what did your family kind of think about your choice to move to Michigan?
uh,
Got to ask that one.
well, there's a couple of pictures, wedding pictures, where my mom doesn't look as happy as she probably could. I'm the youngest, so I'm her baby.
Hmm.
And it was she was happy, she was elated, she knew it was the right thing. Believe it or not, my husband and I, we met online
Okay.
in 2001.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, before it was cool or, the
Hmm.
fad. And so we actually started emailing and talking on the phone, and we were married within 11 months. So I
Wow.
quit my job, sold my house, and moved to Michigan.
Wow. That's fantastic. I mean, God was pulling you there. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
there had to have been something there that this
absolutely.
this popped off in your head. That's amazing. And that's called faith.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
faith right there.
Yes.
Nothing
Yes.
more than that. So let's get in our DeLorean with Marty McFly. Okay, you
Okay.
remember that movie, right? I mean,
Yes.
you don't look old enough to remember it, but
Oh,
you
I
know,
am.
okay, gotcha. So let's get in there. Let's go back to say the 22, 23-year-old Sandy. What kind of knowledge nuggets are you giving her to maybe shorten a learning curve if she'll listen?
Mhm.
Shorten the learning curve and then level up.
I would probably tell her to give herself a break.
Okay.
Um, I still deal with, occasions of perfection and always, seeking to do the best, be the best, not necessarily to be noticed because I am an introvert, though I love the work that I do.
Love
But
it.
really, give myself a break.
Hmm.
For me, I'm really hard on myself.
Okay.
And that's something at that age, I felt like, okay, I need an MBA. I need to do this. And I just had this goal and strategy for life, but I didn't really incorporate faith into it and what God's plans were.
Sure.
So some of that, I have to kind of go back and rework over the
Sure.
years of being right where I should be instead of where I wanted to be.
Gotcha. So really telling her not to be too hard on herself. You don't have to seek out perfection.
Hmm.
Keep pushing forward.
Keep it
Lay a lot on
real.
God. Let the faith. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So we have we have what we call here at Time to Shine Today the dash. And I want to know how you want your dash remembered. And our squad wants to know, that little line that's in between the life date and death date. How
Hmm.
do you want your dash to be remembered, your epitaph, if you will?
Hmm. That's a really good question. I think for me, when I think about how I want people to look back on me, it's to definitely say that she was all in, that I was present with everyone and in everything. I think this current COVID crisis has reminded me that even more is to be present with people. And then that I was concerned about the lives of other people.
Right.
And for me, that's extremely important. I feel totally blessed, even as we go through COVID, to be in the situation and circumstance that I'm in. And so, it for me, I want people to know that they matter to me.
Love that. Love that. You're a total go giver. That's amazing. That is amazing. So when you start working with these nonprofit groups or companies, when you're starting in the discovery process with them, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Hmm. It's interesting because they pay me for my expertise.
Right.
But most organizations that hire strategists or consultants already have an idea of what they want.
Right. Yeah, they've gotten to a level a lot of times, right?
Yes. So it's like, well, this is what I want to do. I need you to help me do what I want to do.
Okay.
And so I think if I had individuals or organizations ask, I would say, what is it that you would do?
Love it. I love it. Like what would you do, or what failures have you had? Like I want to hear about you a lot of. No, that's fantastic. I wish that they would ask me that a lot of times as well too. And I'm sure some of my clients are out there listening and laughing about that right now, because I'll be like, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and my failures. I'll just answer it for them without them even asking. That's funny.
Right.
So what do people, how do I say this? What do people misunderstand about Sandy the most?
Um, I think they misunderstand the reserve and quietness as standoffish sometimes. I am extremely intentional when I'm in public and even at church,
Mm-hmm.
is to engage and with emotional intelligence and all the other tools and resources out there, I'm try to be very self-aware.
Love it.
And pay attention to people. So if I watch them long enough, I'll know what it is that they're feeling, and so I can hook up with them.
I love that. I love that. So give me your definition of a life well lived.
Oh gosh. It's one where I'm able to give back. I'm like, the more that I make, the more that I do, the more that I can give. Last week we gave back to the Hazel Park Fire and Police Departments.
Nice.
We took a mask and gloves and hand
Wow.
sanitizer and candy and backpack and coffee mugs, just to try to make a small difference.
Sure.
But I really think that as you receive more, that's the more that you give.
Beautiful.
And even if that means giving more of myself emotionally, I want to be able to do that as well.
Absolutely. You can't outgive God in the universe, right? I mean, it's like God is providing you with all these blessings. Why can't you just give? Because the more you give, and you got to stay open to receptivity too, because you'll get yours. It might not be money. Who cares if it's money? But it might be like, it's funny. The other day, it's like my goddaughter never calls me, and I did something for somebody that I never would do. A little bit different because, I don't work with my hands, but I actually went out and changed a tire. And I was like, next thing you know, my goddaughter called me like an hour later from Michigan. And I was like, oh man, that's like, I'm open to it. That's awesome. You're a total go-giver. That's fantastic. As we wind things down, Miss Sandy, we like to go through what's called a leveling up lightning round.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 5 or 6 questions. No explanations, just whatever comes off the top of your head. Okay. And they're super easy. You can do it. I promise you.
Okay.
Even soccer player from Texas can do it. Ready?
Yes.
Here we go. What's the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Don't be perfect.
Love that. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Take a chill pill.
Love it. Just relax, right?
Just chill.
All right. So other than the good book, and not the book you're reading now or the flavor of the month, recommend a book that's kind of like your go-to, that's written by a human being, like what is mine's Andy Andrews. I mean, he's a Christian comedian, but he wrote a book called The Traveler's Gift. Fantastic book. And it's life-changing if you read it. But what is your book?
So mine is The Purpose-Driven Life.
Love it. Enough said. Said. What if you could be one age for the rest of your life? What would it be?
Gosh, the pivotal one was 50.
50?
I'm 51 now.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. People, if you're watching, you understand. If you're not watching, hop on the YouTube channel, because there's no way she's 51. I mean, I'm 48, and I guess it must run in the water in Michigan or something that keeps us looking young. Wow. Okay, fantastic. So what charity and organization do you like to give your time and or money to?
So my husband's on the board of what was South Oakland Shelters, now the Lighthouse, and we do a lot with homelessness in Oakland County. So the Lighthouse is where we are. That's what we're doing.
Beautiful.
Supporting that.
I love that. Last question. What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Jeez. I'd say 90s.
90s, really?
Yeah,
all right.
80s, 90s, but I would go with 90s.
Okay, very cool. I love 90s. 90s is cool. Crisscross. So how can we find you?
So you can find me. My personal handle is Sandy Lynn Harvey.
It's everywhere, by the way. You put in Sandy Lynn Harvey into Google altogether, she shows up in like the first 5 pages of Google. I tried it earlier, because I noticed at the end it's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything's Sandy Lynn Harvey.
That's it.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll put all of her links in the show notes, people. And leave the Time to Shine Today squad with one last knowledge nugget you want them to take with them, internalize, and put into action.
So one of the things I've shared and have been sharing recently is find your purpose and then live out your purpose. Find and live out your purpose. Mm-hmm. Love this. I have like pages of notes from Sandy here. And I have to tell you folks, I mean, I'm blessed, a former athlete,
that was really at her time a minority in the game, and she still rocked it. She's always looking for connection, passion, and integrity with people that she works for and works with. If you're looking for transformation personally or professionally and looking for purpose, make sure you give Sandy a call or hit her up online anywhere. She'll be happy to give you a little bit of her time to see if you're the right fit. She doesn't take just anybody. Again, she takes people that are looking for connection, passion, and integrity. People, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't strive for perfection. Maybe strive a little bit for greatness. This perfection is impossible. Like we always talk about here at Time to Shine Today, perfection's impossible, but if you're striving for greatness, you will attain it. And one thing that I've noticed about Sandy, she's present with everyone and everything. She is always looking to level up, not only herself, she's humble, she's healthy, she's leveling up her health, leveling up her wealth, and now she's part of our squad. And thank you so, so much, Sandy, for coming aboard. And you can't go anywhere now. You're part of the Time to Shine Today squad.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been awesome.
Have a great day.
You too.